Now that we're recording, I actually vibe with this spray tan.
Yeah, on camera, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you look good.
I got a spray tan, everybody, and I was pretty insecure about it, but it's my first spray tan.
Yeah, baby's first spray tan. I've never had one. I'm
Yeah.
ruining this podcast already because I don't have my coffee.
Okay, Hannah's reaching for her coffee, everybody. Oh, God.
I did it. Keep talking about your spray tan, Monica.
All right. Hannah's rearranging her whole life. I got a spray tan, and I thought you had to be naked, and then all my friends were like, "No, we left our underwear on." So I guess it was like optional. There
But
you go.
you ruined the underwear?
Yeah, well, I could have like not put the underwear back on. All right, everyone. Hannah's settled. She has her coffee. We're all here. We're all happy. How's your coffee, Hannah?
It's perfect because they said, "Do you want an email?" Oh, I have exciting news, and then we'll talk about your spray tan. Okay?
Oh, right. Yeah.
I'm getting diarrhea from milk now.
Oh, that's.
I'm just
great.
like you, but not because you're
Oh.
better than me now.
I don't get diarrhea from milk.
Yeah, you can drink 1% milk.
Honestly, my stomach's like pretty fine.
I can't.
You can't. So why do you
That's
think?
always, my body's always like flirted with lactose intolerance, and I guess now it's just really mad at me.
Interesting.
I ordered a coffee yesterday, a Vietnamese coffee, and it was like this coconut Vietnamese coffee because they have this condensed milk thing.
Right.
But I didn't realize that was the one I was getting, so I was like, "What's good?" And they were like, "This one." I was like, "Okay." And what they put in front of me was fully a milkshake, and I was like, "Okay."
That's also like the thickest cream milk.
So much.
Yeah.
And I had maybe a few sips. I had like 3 sips of it, and I just like went home and had diarrhea. And I was like, well, this isn't for me.
I actually have a question for you. Did you watch the new cult documentary on Netflix?
The TikTok one?
Yeah.
No, I can't. It gives me anxiety.
Right, because you were in a cult.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because I remember in like I think the first episode of this podcast, you kind of brought up the cult.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, let's put a pin in that for later.
Yeah.
And then we never went back to later.
Yeah, so the later would be, it's not technically a cult, it's just like religion, but I would consider it borderline.
Borderline cult.
Yeah, it was just extremely strict. Like, it was Christian Reformed, or people call it Dutch Reform. It's very, very strict. And that is what I grew up in. And a lot of people that grow up in that don't talk to their parents anymore.
Right.
I still talk to mine. My parents are chill, but I get why people leave and are like, I don't want to talk to anyone that is associated with this.
Yeah.
So I grew up in that. I went to like a school that was associated with that, and I went to church, and all my friends were in that. Everyone I knew was kind of like in this religion. But it's like, it's so, to me, I don't know. Like, to me, I think Christianity, especially different, like, sects of Protestantism, really get away with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is Scientology a cult and they're not?
Yeah.
I think it's, like, just because they've, I don't know, tricked the government.
Well, what was really interesting about this documentary or this cult is, like, I kind of felt that people in the cult weren't allowed to leave or associate with people outside of the cult, which is kind of what this was, but then they were still kind of allowed to leave. Like, the guy made like businesses, and like these people are on like TikTok and Instagram and doing dance videos, but they're still in the cult, so they're still talking to people outside the cult, but like they're in the cult.
Yeah, it's almost like how I was raised was like, if you should be trying to save everyone who's not in the cult.
Yes, that's what it was.
So you're encouraged to talk to people outside of the cult because they want more members.
Right, yeah.
But like if it comes to like being friends with them or like marrying them, that's something else.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that's why the family in this documentary was like, yeah, like we still see our daughter, but she's not there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was our. I love cult documentaries.
You do? You like the NXIVM stuff?
Oh my God, that was my favorite.
Yeah, the NXIVM stuff, I was like, I watched those ones, and I was able to like kind of be okay and be like, yeah.
It's just wild to see like who they recruit, and it's like what's going on in their heads. And even in this cult, they were saying, you know, a lot of the people, they were at points where they were a bit lost in life, or they don't have a lot of money, or they don't have a lot of friends, or they just moved or whatever. And it's like mind fuck.
It is a mind fuck because it's also like with religion and like the stuff that I grew up in. It's hard for me to talk about it because I'm like, the people that are in it truly believe in it and truly believe they're doing something good.
Yes.
So they're not trying to, like, maybe the leader is evil.
Yes.
But the people in it are just like people that think they're like helping.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I should watch this one and be
well, and what
traumatized.
you don't have to. But what was interesting was like the parents were calling the police and stuff, and they were like, well, your daughter's like of age to make her own decisions. Like, you can't do
there's
anything.
free will. There's nothing you can do. And I mean, and also like organized religion, it's so weird. Like Dutch Reformed is definitely dying off. Like that's not going to be a thing pretty soon. But then like there's like Kanye's church or like Justin Bieber's church, and they're like thriving, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like different things will just like pop up, or
my
cult
Roman
that's
Empire
on TikTok, or your Roman Empire, Hailey
Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Doing better than ever.
Yeah.
Pregnant.
Well, this wasn't in the outline, but I just was thinking about it.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you to watch that.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Your spray tan.
Yeah, so I got a spray tan, and from cult to spray tan.
Yeah.
And I took off my underwear, and like she did the whole spray tan, and then she was like bend over, and I bent over, and she like sprayed basically in my butthole.
Wow. She's like, this spray tan's gonna get you laid, and I don't want you to be embarrassed when you're
I was like, no one's going there.
Yeah, but maybe it will. Maybe someone will.
But if they go there, they're gonna be like, why is the inside of your butthole tanned?
I guess that's true. Like, even if I have a natural tan, I'm not.
Yeah, like that's
inside
not like
my butthole.
My
isn't
areola
tanned.
is tanned right now.
Right. That doesn't make much sense.
Like my nipple is brown.
Oh, you had your tits out?
I had everything out. I was naked.
Oh, so you did take off your underwear and you bent over?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why it's in my butthole.
I think you need to talk to the therapist about this.
Okay, our next topic of conversation.
It's a follow-up.
A follow-up on James Cummins.
James Clark Cummins.
He was like, why the fuck did you say my full name?
He said full government. He's like, Hannah, you've called me Jam Easy since you met me. That's his whatever. How I know him.
That's like his old comedy name is Jam Easy.
Well, not even. I don't think it's even
just
name,
like friend
group and
friend
stuff
group
too.
Name,
yeah. So everyone just knows him as Jam Easy.
But he wanted redemption.
And then he's like, the moment you're trashing me, you use my full government. I'm like, my bad.
Yeah, he wants a moment of redemption. He said that he only took one fry from one person, and it was
a lie. This is a lie. So he said this to me too. And I'm like, well, I remember a specific story where you took a drumstick out of someone's, and then you said, do you think they're going to count them? So he's a liar. So he has stolen a fry and a drumstick.
And he said one time when he delivered groceries, they ordered like 5 cans of pop.
They ordered not cans.
Sorry,
bottles or boxes or something.
Yeah. And he was like, well, if you're not coming down to help me, like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to take up all the pop, so I'm going to take a pop.
They were in a high-rise apartment,
But
and they
there was
didn't
an
come to help.
elevator.
Of course. No, this is what I mean when I'm like, he's like the worst Uber driver, but then when someone orders Plan B, he's like, I'll wait for them to pick it up. I'm like...
You know what I was thinking? Because I ordered Plan B, obviously said leave at door because I don't want to fucking see anyone. If I opened my door and James was standing there smiling,
would be so funny.
with like holding his Plan B, I'd be like, literally go fuck yourself. Like, I'd be so mad. I'd wait until he like left. He wouldn't leave.
No, he wouldn't.
He would be there for like an hour, just holding
waiting.
it in front of the door, like studying the apartment. Like,
no, okay, so his thing was, he's like, if you're not gonna help, then prepare to have some of your groceries stolen.
yeah, I guess fair enough.
Fair karma, sure. That is annoying if you order a bunch of groceries and don't help. But like
But that's also like the service.
Yeah, because I've also ordered it and just like haven't been home when they arrive.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't steal my groceries because I'm not there to help.
But I'm also just like, if I order on Uber Eats and I pay $12.99 for a delivery fee, like actually I
we just trashing him more? We're like the James redemption story, and we're like, he's wrong. He's a lazy Uber driver.
No, he's definitely wrong. We just
but this is what he wanted us. Oh my gosh. And we also have to do redemption because we called out my boyfriend for wanting to use condoms.
For being gay. Okay.
For being gay, for wanting to use condoms. And he's like, I don't want to use condoms. And we don't use condoms, okay, everyone? My boyfriend's not gay. Round of applause. He's like, he hates condoms too. We don't use condoms. He just really, for a hot second, didn't trust me to not keep a baby.
Which is fair, because you told him that you would keep a baby.
Of course that's fair. I'm psycho.
Well, not psycho. You just would keep a baby.
Yeah, exactly. I would keep a baby. I'm 34. I should be so lucky to keep a baby. Yeah, so follow up on that.
You're welcome.
I have a straight boyfriend.
Does Hannah just have a straight boyfriend?
Yeah. Mystery solved.
Okay. Should we go over... I have a pathetic story.
Yay.
That I was thinking about, because it happened at Free Times Cafe, which is a place where I frequent comedy. And every time I go back, when I get on stage, I tell this story.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone hates it. They're like, you're supposed to be doing comedy. And I'm like, well, this happened here, and you guys are going to listen to me talk about this. So I met this guy. We went on like a couple dates. And then on one of the dates, we went back to his house and we hooked up. I swear he lasted 1.5 pumps.
Oh, no.
Like 1.5. And I wouldn't say that if like he was a good guy. Like I would keep it to myself and be like, you know, you mean well. But
you would round up to 2.
I would round up to 2 for sure.
If he was a good
I'd give him
guy.
a solid 2. Whatever. 1.5 pumps. But like I was still into him. I was like, okay, whatever. Like,
yeah, you're like, I'm a busy girl.
yeah, I'm a busy girl.
So
like,
that's fine.
Fine, you know? And so then he messages me for another date. And this was before I started stand-up. And he goes, they're having a music open mic at Free Times Cafe.
Yep.
I haven't, like, done music. He, like, plays guitar and sings.
Great.
And when I say plays guitar and sings, I mean, like, he thinks he plays guitar and sings.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, I'd love to go. Like, I want to, like, try, like, singing and playing guitar for the first time in, like, many years. Like, will you come with me?
What the hell? I hate... Okay.
So I'm like, sure, like,
Yep.
as a date, right? So we go to this, like, music open mic or
I've done
whatever.
this music open mic as a comic, and it's 5 hours long.
Yeah.
What were you there?
Why'd you do the music open mic?
Me and James Clark Cummins used to go to this music open mic.
And do comedy?
Yeah, because the guy that runs it fucks with us. So he'd be like, yeah, you can come up and do 10 minutes of comedy. Because you get 10 minutes, which is quite rare for an open mic.
You get 10 minutes to do a music?
Yep. What
song is 10 minutes?
You get to play 2 songs, so it's about 10 minutes.
Oh, true.
Because they're just like fucking around up there.
Right.
And then so we would do comedy. And yeah, and it was like 5 hours long. It was,
yeah.
And some of the people are very bad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was very
Some
bad.
are great. Some
including
are
the guy I was on a date with.
So that's great.
Yeah. So we go, and he goes, can you take a picture of me, like, when I'm up there? And I'm like, sure. So he goes up. He does, like, so bad, Hannah. Like, I was like...
Oh, my God. Like, no redeeming qualities?
Like, he could, like, play guitar. And, like, it's not like his singing voice was awful. Maybe he was just, like, super nervous. But he was, like, very, like, quiet. Like, I could probably do it.
Right.
If I knew how to play guitar.
Yeah.
You know? He was just nervous. Then, so he gets off stage after, like, bombing his ass off.
Oh, no.
Everyone was like, it was fine.
Yeah, they're very polite at a music open mic.
Yeah, like, at a comedy open mic, he would have been, like, booed off the stage.
For sure.
But, like, at a music open mic, everyone was like, good attempt, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So he gets off the stage, and there was this other girl who performed, and she was, like, super good. Like, I was like, oh, my God, she's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He starts, like, talking to her, but, like, beyond. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, I'll just sit here, right? Like I'll just sit here. And then he goes to the bathroom and me and her start talking. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, like I don't care."
Sure, she's just there.
She's a cool
not
girl.
her-
I'm like,
not
"Yeah,
her
you
fault.
were really like
Yeah.
I was like, you were great." And she's like, "Thanks." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on a date with that guy." And then we just kind of started like laughing over it because he was like obviously hitting on her.
Right.
So now like we become friends,
Great.
like me and the girl.
And that's me. It was me. No.
We become friends, and then he like comes back from the bathroom and he's like exchanging Instagrams with her and like all this shit. And like I don't give a fuck, right? Like what am I
Yeah,
gonna
you're
do?
like,
Like hate this girl? Like
Yeah.
I'm whatever.
And she's also just like trying to be an artist.
Yeah, she's trying to be an
Yeah.
artist and like she's a cool, and I'm like, you were like good at what you did, you know? So then we like leave or whatever, and it's fine. I'll deal.
Okay.
Okay, everyone, I just went halfway through the story and we noticed
I'm
an audio
so
issue.
yeah. I was like, wait, I've just been thinking it in my head for the past like 10 minutes, and I'm like, why don't you say it out loud? Fuck.
Should I start my story again?
Start it from he comes back from the bathroom.
Okay, so he comes back from, I don't remember where I was at that point in the story.
Exchanges Instagrams.
Oh, okay. So he comes back from the bathroom and he exchanges Instagrams with, okay, we can't do this.
I can do it. I can do it.
Okay. He exchanges Instagrams.
Insane.
I'm leaving this
You
whole
have to
thing
leave
in.
the whole thing in.
It's fine. I'll just increase the volume on the Adobe. Everyone will fucking deal. So then we leave, and like he was also very like, it was kind of like he didn't want to hook up ever, really.
Ugh.
So it's like we hooked up once, and he lasted like 1.5 pumps.
And then he's like, I just need someone to watch me play guitar terribly.
Mm-hmm. So then he like hits on this girl, right? And then like, but me and this girl become friends, but he like doesn't know that or whatever. And then we like go to our separate homes, and then he starts like slow fade ghosting me.
Yeah.
And then he uploads the picture that I took of him at the open mic
Wow.
onto his dating profile.
What a little piece of shit.
And then me and the girl, we like stayed in touch and we like hung out.
Oh, you hung out.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah, I liked her and we like made fun of the guy. But then I like
Was she like, yeah, he was shit?
Yeah.
Good.
She was like, what the fuck? But like okay, this is like a really weird thing. So like I was still like into him. Because I feel like last week when I told a pathetic man story, it was nice that it ended with me being like, LMAO.
Yeah, it was actually quite surprising.
Yeah, this one is not.
I was like, what? That's not what Monica does.
This one is not that.
Yeah.
So a weird thing that I really liked about him was his apartment. And not because he was like rich or super rich or whatever. Like it wasn't this like stunning huge apartment. It was just like super comfortable. Like I actually just wanted to like rent it from him. So I missed his apartment. It was part of a unit, like an apartment unit, but it was one of the ones on the ground floor where they're like kind of townhouses. So like it had like 2 floors.
Lots of sunlight, I bet.
It was just like it was just really lovely.
Yeah.
And like I just wanted to hang out at his apartment. So then I was like still trying to like text him.
That's really funny.
And I even like got together with the girl and she was like, yeah, he's a piece of shit. And I was still trying to text him at this point. I was like, yeah, he's a piece of shit.
This is the Monica I know.
Yeah, this is the Monica we know and love at MENTY BREAKY. And then like finally he ghosted me and I was like, okay, there's like nothing I can do. I think like 3 years went by, honestly. And then he texts me and he's like, hey, like I'd really love to hang out again or like something. And I was like, no, you know, like and he was like, please, like he kept going and going.
3 years is crazy.
It was a really long time.
Yeah.
I don't know if we like matched. No, we definitely didn't match on the apps again. Like I think he like texted me. He's like, I'm really sorry. Like I've grown. Like all the like it's like he chat GBT'd like fuckboy apology. Right. And so he's like saying all this shit. And then he's like, come on, just give me one more chance. Like worst case or like best case we get married. Worst case you get like a free dinner out of it.
What?
That's what he said.
That's crazy.
And then I was
And
like,
what ended up happening?
then I was like, okay.
Yeah, you're like,
And then
well,
he ghosted me.
you're like, oh my God. That's the worst. You're like, actually, this was the worst case. Is I agree to meet you and you ghost me. You dumb fuck.
No, I literally was like fighting him on it
I
for
kinda
so
want
long.
You to like dox him or something.
What does dox mean? Oh, like reveal?
Yeah, you like give out their personal information.
You know what? He was actually on Are We Dating the Same Guy?
Yeah.
And like someone posted his picture.
Did you say anything?
I didn't say anything.
You
but
should've.
No, because there were already like 10 girls that were like, he's
Amazing.
mentally unstable. So I was like, okay, the work has been done for me.
Me and Monica love Are We Dating the Same Guy?
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it, or we might get kicked out of the group because it's like confidential. Like you're not allowed to say that it exists.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
people know that it exists.
I guess so. They had a whole thing recently where like I think Facebook was shutting them all down.
Well, it kind of makes sense because it is like almost bullying. Because it's like they'll put up a picture of a guy and like 50 women will be like, looks like a criminal. Like looks
I
like
know.
he's a piece of shit. Like it won't even be like facts about the guy. They're like, well, from this picture, I think he's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think my problem is like when a girl posts and she's like,
Yeah.
any tea?
Yeah.
And I'm like, the thing is, it would be such a great group if it was actually just for like safety purposes.
Yeah, like literally just finding out men that are horrible. Which
Yeah.
there's been, I've only commented once, and it was to defend a guy.
Me too.
I was just like, I know, because someone was just like, NET.
Yeah.
And I think, but yeah, people being shitty or whatever.
Yeah.
Being like, oh, looks like this or whatever. And I
Yeah.
just, I'm like, yeah, I met the guy a few times. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
That was it.
Because I think girls also just like get angry
Yes.
and resentful. Or like sometimes it'll be like,
who did you defend?
one of my friends from Second City, actually.
Oh, nice.
But because it was the same thing where it was like NET and they put just like this picture of him like in a bar, just like not like and like I'm like, I guess I don't know him well enough to know if he's actually done anything, but every comment was just like, looks like a
Yeah.
shitty guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, but no one has anything
Yeah.
to actually say.
So in that case, I get why they would be shut down.
Yeah.
But like it would be nice if it was just like, oh yeah, this guy is a scammer, or like
Yeah.
has, you know.
I don't think a lot
warrant
of
for his
guys know that
arrest.
this exists.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they do. Most guys I talk to, like in Toronto at least, know about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen guys, like I'll look up guys now, but like most of them, yeah, it's just like NET and everyone's like, he looks nice or like he looks like a piece of shit. And I'm like, okay, well.
And then, but then sometimes women will like, me and you love it when they post
Oh, I
a
love
picture of
it.
like someone who's clearly murdered, who has like blood spatter on their face, and they'll be like, any red flags or tea, and you're like, well, that man's in prison. So
Literally a picture
yeah,
in an orange jumpsuit.
it'll be yeah, and he'll be like being loaded into a police car, and they'll be like, NET, I'm going on a date with him in 4 hours, and you're like, what?
You're like,
Like, what?
perhaps, yeah.
I'm like,
I know, I love it. It's so funny.
yeah, and then the comments will be like, yeah, I heard he murdered my dad,
Yeah.
like, and they're like, yeah, I don't know if I should cancel.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm still gonna go and just see for myself. And you're
Yeah.
like, okay, like,
Yeah.
like insane.
Well, and then also some of them are like, he ghosted me, or like we went on 5 dates and then he told me he's not looking for anything serious. And I'm
Oh,
like,
those girls are so annoying.
yeah, that's life.
I know. They're like, yeah, he told me that he just wants to sleep with me before anything happened. I'm like, so that
So
he made,
he
he made his
told you.
intentions clear, and
Yeah.
then you still were an idiot. And
Yeah.
like went on a date with him and thought something would be different.
Yeah.
We're gonna get kicked out of the group.
Yeah, we're gonna get kicked out of the group.
Honestly, I don't even
100%.
really go on it that much anymore.
Yeah, I just like it comes up on my news feed.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay,
if someone's
whatever.
like popping off, but it's not
Yeah.
as fun anymore. It used to be really fun.
Yeah, it used to be. Well, because now it's like they keep getting shut down, and
Yeah,
it's
and
just
occasionally we
strict.
would see people that we knew on there.
Oh, that was the best. That was the best.
And we didn't defend them because they were assholes.
Well, I actually saw one guy that I was like seeing for a bit, and like it's just interesting because like every girl just had the same experience, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like not in a bad way. It was like once again, it was a post where it was like NET, and like
Yeah.
no one had anything terrible to say.
Right, but they're just like, he's not committing. or
Yeah,
whatever.
he's not committing, whatever the fuck. And then it got taken down. So I'm like, I wonder if like he found out about it, or like someone that he knew showed him, or like the admins were like, this is just fucking stupid because no one actually has anything to say.
Yeah, I saw a guy on there that was trying to cheat on his wife with me, and I like blocked him years ago, and then his picture came up and it was a different name because he uses like fake names and stuff. And same thing, people are like, oh, his wife contacted me in the middle of the night. She's freaking out at me, like she's threatening me and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's
Things don't change, man.
a bad yeah
That's crazy. Yeah, it is interesting when like all these girls have the exact same lived experience. It's not like, you know, I'm different. Like no one's fucking different.
Yeah, that's the constant. Fuck boys.
Yeah.
You think there was fuck boys in like caveman times?
I think in caveman times it was like all the men just like impregnated as many women as they could. Like wasn't that the thing?
Yeah, but like they like went out and they like always would like get you a really nice fish, and then they came back and then they gave the nicest fish to the other cave lady, and they like, you're like, oh, but you used to give me that nice fish.
Yeah.
What happened? Why? Because I'm old now? Now there's some younger cave lady that you're giving the best fish to?
Yeah, I guess it like I guess it would be like, and then like one guy was like, oh, I'm only like giving you fish.
Yeah, and then you find out that he's like actually
giving
so many girls
he's
fish.
going to so many caves.
Yeah, and you're like, what the fuck?
You're like, you
could
told
have
me
you could have just grunted at me that you were seeing other cave women.
you could have just grunted at me that like we weren't serious.
Yeah.
You could have just
like, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant.
And I have 3 of your
baby.
kids already.
I have 600 children already.
Yeah, and I know that like I have some children from other cavemen, but like I was open with you about it in my grunt.
Yeah.
Like I told you that like I have a history, and you said that you were okay with it.
That was fine.
Yeah. And now this
when
fish.
I grunt, I feel like you're not even listening.
And now this fish means nothing.
Yeah, this fish used to mean everything, and now it means nothing.
Yeah, like I was gonna cook it really nice.
I probably won't even cook it now.
I probably won't even cook it. You can eat it raw.
Yeah.
You can eat the raw
You can eat fish raw. That's when sushi was invented.
That's the history of sushi. Cave ladies being wronged.
Yeah. Okay, Menty, Breaky, Queenie of the Weeky.
We got a nice submission. Thank you to our Menty Breaky fans. I don't know if he wants to be named.
So he was more saying this as a desperate thing. But honestly, I just think it's like
pathetic.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Like reading this, I'm like, you were just a unfortunate it's more a Menty Breaky story than it is a desperate or pathetic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's still our queen.
Yeah, definitely. You're in the right category,
You're in the right category, sir. Thank you for submitting. You did it properly.
Yep. So I'm going to summarize this, but he says back in first year university, he met this girl and started dating before the end of the year.
Okay.
And the summer was so good. And so for the second year, they requested rooms on the same floor in the residence. Everything is good. But by the next summer, they both had jobs in their hometowns. So they were 2.5 hours apart. But they would make it work, and they would see each other on the weekends. They would like drive the distance, and they would see each other every 2 to 3 weeks, which I mean isn't that often in the summer. That's like 3 visits, but okay. Oh wait, no, university summers are longer.
Yeah, 4 months.
So one weekend in the middle of August, she was supposed to come to his place for the weekend, and they were going to go attend a mutual friend's bridal shower. Are men invited to bridal showers?
No. Maybe this
whole thing is a lie.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a modern bridal shower, I guess.
Maybe. Or sometimes men come later.
Yeah, or if they're like besties with the girl, they can
Yeah.
go. Okay, so they're both going to go to this bridal shower together and spend the rest of the time hanging out. And then that morning she texted him that she was sick, so she couldn't make it. So he says, me being the good boyfriend I was, decided I didn't have any other plans that weekend, so I would do the nice thing and go to her place instead. So we bought some flowers and drove 2.5 hours to her place. So this is a little, like, you should have gone to the bridal shower, I think.
I mean, yeah, but like if you think you're in a relationship
Yeah.
with someone, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, I guess it is nice because he's like, well, we were going to see each other, so why don't
Yeah.
I go take care of her?
Yeah.
So he drove 2.5 hours to her, and when he got there, nobody was home. And he's like, oh, she must be sicker than I thought. Or then she let on she had to go to the doctor or the pharmacy. I called her and I told her I was at her place, and she sounded panicked. So she said she wouldn't be back for another hour, but she wanted me to wait there so that they could talk. And like a naive idiot, he sat in his truck and waited for her, which I don't think, again, is like a naive idiot thing. Like you just would do that. You have to wait.
I guess.
What's he going to do? Drive 2.5 hours home and then talk on the phone? Like, you still have to have a conversation.
Yeah, you're already there, I guess.
But it is
But then
brutal
it's
waiting in a
another
car for an hour.
Yeah.
So when she finally got home, she told me she'd been out canoeing with an older man she worked with. And we had an argument. And she said she was sorry for lying. And that she wasn't cheating. She just had a special connection with this guy.
Stop. I'm not cheating. I just told you I was sick and canceled our plans and then canoed with a man.
Yeah, that I have a special connection with.
But
that
I'm not
cheating. And that he needed her that day.
He needed her that? Oh,
yeah, to hold the
special
other paddle.
Right. To hold the paddle. Am I right?
Yes.
To hold the paddle.
The third paddle. So then, even though she picked him over, like, the mutual friend and her boyfriend,
And
she
lied.
didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
No.
Did nothing wrong. So he's like, I need time to think and cool down. So I drove 2.5 hours back to my place, and then they ended things the next day, which is like so sad. But the bad part is that school was starting in 2 weeks.
That's also 6 hours. Like,
That's a long time of his life.
and then
Sure. I mean,
one-
but it's a breakup, right?
Yeah.
Like, some breakups take 6 hours. No, the bad part is that 2 weeks later, they were moving in together.
God.
And it was too late to find another house. So it was him and a friend basically were living together for the whole next year, him, the ex, and the friend. So they had to live together. And guess what? She ended up dating the guy for a month.
No.
He's like, it didn't last. She ended up dating Special Canoe Man for a month.
Oh, but Special Canoe Man didn't live with them.
No.
No,
But she was still dating him when he lived with her.
She was dating Special Canoe Man.
Yeah, while they were living together.
While they were, oh my God.
And then his friends to this day kind of refer to it to the year he lived on their couch, because he obviously didn't want to be in that house with her, so he just slept on his friend's couch for the whole year. So he said, in retrospect, had it not happened, he's like, maybe the relationship would have lasted and she just would have been cheating on him, right?
Yeah.
And he said, I'm probably not blameless. I wasn't giving her something she needed. He says, but let me tell you, driving 2.5 hours to surprise someone you love only to find they lied to you and having to drive another 2.5 hours home is rough.
That is very Menty Breaky Queen.
It is. Like, doing the drive with flowers and then them being like, I was on a canoe with an older man, and you're like, right.
But you're not cheating on me. You just have a special connection, and he needed you today.
Go home now. And then living with that person for the year while they date Special Canoe Man.
While they date Special Canoe Man. God.
So thank you.
That's a beautiful
honestly,
story.
like he said, glad that you found out. Glad that it ended.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks that you had to live with him or live with her while she dated Special Canoe Man and live with her for a year or whatever. But at least you
knew
weren't together with her while she was
We love
explore.
that for our Menty Breaky
Yeah.
queen. It was a positive, like it was a
Yeah,
positive
I like that he
outcome.
put a positive spin on it.
Yeah, we love a good positive spin. I
Yeah.
don't know what the positive spin of my free times open mic man was. Perhaps making a lady friend.
Making a lady friend and like I mean, I
Seeing
think
what kind of apartment I'd love to live in one day.
that's a great thing.
I did like try to look for one like that, but they're pretty hard to find.
Yeah.
But at least I know it exists.
Yep. And
then bonding with a bunch of women on Are We Dating the Same Guy who had the same experiences.
yeah, I think that's positive.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, yeah, it's not me. It's
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. To like contact me after years.
And then ghost you and you're like,
And then
okay,
be like,
fine.
please. Like, please.
That's mentally ill.
Yeah.
That is like honestly ill.
Yeah.
I have like guys that I like matched with on something and I'm like, okay, we can exchange WhatsApp or whatever.
Yeah.
And like I never ended up meeting up with them.
Yeah.
Like one guy specifically, and for years, like once a month, he would send me a message being like, "Hey, can we meet up?" And that's insane.
Yeah. Well,
And
I
I'm
have
like,
guys
does
on-
he have an alert on it? Did he set an alert on his phone, like message? Like he probably has all these girls like
Yeah.
on different days because it was once a month. And I'm like, I think there's an alarm on his phone that says message Hannah. And then he's like, oh, right. And then he turns it off and sends me a message.
It's just like auto message.
It was different messages.
Oh, okay.
But like very
Keeping it
similar.
creative. Okay, everyone. That's been
Cheers.
our episode. Thank you to our Menty Breaky Queen. Thank you to our listeners. Thanks to me for being pathetic. Thanks.
Yep. Thank you, Monica, for being pathetic.
Thanks to Hannah for her coffee.
Thanks to Monica's spray tan.
Thanks to my spray tan, who is also our Menty Breaky Queen
Yeah.
of the week.
Thanks to my boyfriend for not actually liking condoms.
Yeah, that's great. All right, bye everyone.
Bye.